You are watching On Demand. Please do not try to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Good afternoon and welcome to Thursday's Loose Women, helping me, Kay Adams, get you one step closer to the weekend. Denise Welsh, who you kidding, Carol McGiffin, and Linda Robson. Coming up, last time comedian Mel Giedroyc came on this show, this happened. And yet she's agreed to come back. I have no idea why that happened, actually, and I was actually there. We're going to be chatting to Mel about how hitting financial rock bottom inspired her Sunday Times best-selling book. And he's taken to the ice like a true professional. Oh, he's just so good, isn't he? Former Ballroom bad boy Brendan Cole will be telling us about skating with a brand new partner ahead of Dancing on Ice this weekend. He swapped Vanessa for Brendan. And as former supermodel Linda Evangelista speaks out about the effect that her plastic surgery nightmare has had on her life, we're asking, should you always ask your family's permission before you go under the knife? Plus, Carol's had something done. Can you guess? Maybe it's what Carol's been doing. I don't know. She's looking a little bit pleased with herself.
I'm not.
You're not? No. Well, all will be revealed later on in the show, but if you think you know what it is, do feel free to get in touch. Can't wait. Well,
it's a bit obvious, isn't it?
What? What's a bit obvious? What, good old geezer bird? Bit obvious, isn't it?
But I'll let them guess. I'll let them guess.
Let them guess. Go on then. Let them guess. Listen, we can't ignore Prince Andrew on the front page of all the papers this morning after his alleged £12 million settlement with Virginia Giuffre. It's rumoured the Queen may be contributing £2 million of her own money, which would be a donation to Virginia's charity. It's not clear, of course, where the rest of the cash will come from. Lots and lots of calls within the press today, Linda, saying we need to know, we as the public have a right to know, the palace have a duty to tell us. Do you think we've got a right to know?
Well, I do think we should know if it's public money. I mean, if it's money coming out of their banks, then that's fair enough. Then they should be paying for it. I don't think we should be using our money to pay for what he's allegedly done.
It's just very confusing, really, to know what is their money and what is our money, because clearly all of their money comes from inheritance to a certain extent, and we are invested in the royal family. I mean, Denise, do you think we've got a right to know?
To be honest, I would put money on the fact that the Queen is bailing him out of this. Where that money comes from, I don't really care. I've got to be so... You know, last time I spoke about Prince Andrew on this show, the online press go, Denise Welsh says she has personal beef with Prince Andrew. If I said that, that makes me like Alan Partridge to say that I have personal beef with Prince Andrew. I've had run-ins with him before. I don't like him very, very much. I just find it very, very odd that for someone he doesn't know, he's paying her 12 million quid.
Well, I mean, he's admitted no wrongdoing, of course, we have to be clear.
Yeah, OK. So I suppose, and you pointed out this to me earlier, that if I have beef, it is of the media portrayal, because I know I stand up for Harry and Meghan in a sea of people who don't, but Prince Harry is constantly berated, challenged, criticised for bringing this burden of heartache onto the Queen in her later years. And yet here is the Queen bailing Andrew out of this situation.
Yeah, but you're confusing two separate things there, Denise.
I don't care what it is.
The Queen has never slagged off Harry. I mean, you know, she's never said anything untoward about Harry. What the media does...
She speaks affectionately about... Anyway, it's not about Harry. We're not talking about Harry, are we?
I'm talking about how the media still blame Harry for absolutely everything and seem to divert their attention away from
that is
Andrew's
the media. I mean, what we're talking about is the royal family. I mean, do you think that this has diminished trust in the royal family, Carol?
Why do we have to trust them? They're the royal family. I just want them to be there. I don't care, actually, what is going on with them, because we don't actually know.
care?
No, because the point is, Kay, we do not know. The speculation that surrounds the royal family is rife. It always has been. And they never apologise, they never explain, they never tell you anything, so you don't know. You don't know where the money's coming from, and you ask, you know, do we have the right to know where the money's coming from? Do we have the right not to want to know? Because I don't care where it's coming from. If it's the public money or if it's any money. We don't even know it's 12 million, do we? We don't know that.
Do you
That's
think
what they're
Andrew should be
rumouring.
stripped of his titles? Are you bothered about that he remains Prince Andrew? I think we'll always call him Prince Andrew, whatever. But
Well, look, we don't know. We still don't know what happened, do we? Don't actually know, because
he
there
went to
won't-
visit
no,
Jeffrey
there
Epstein when
won't
Jeffrey
be-
Epstein
No, everybody went
had
to visit
already
bloody
been-
Epstein. Every single celebrity almost.
No,
that
what I'm
walks the
saying is
earth.
that when
There's a
Jeffrey
book. Have
Epstein
you not
had
seen the book?
already been
Have you seen the
accused and
book?
found guilty of child sex offences, Andrew went. That wasn't a mistake. That was a journey he
Well,
made
he
to
has-
visit
he has
a
apolog-
convicted child.
Hang on, he has
abuser.
apologised for
Doesn't
his
matter.
friendship with Jeffrey
With it,
Epstein.
yeah, exactly.
But that is the extent of it, and he has made a settlement. We don't know exactly how much it is, and it has gone to Virginia Giuffre's charity.
Yeah, good.
That is
Very
all that we know.
completely
I mean, to a
innocent there.
certain
That's
extent.
right, and there's no day in court, so we'll never know.
We'll
but
never
even
know.
if there had been, we would never have known anyway, because
But the
those
thing is,
cases
we
are
have-
always he says, she says, and it's who you
Yeah.
believe. So, you know, can we drop it now?
Yeah, well, we are going to drop it, but I was just going to say, no, I'm not going to
Oh,
drop it.
what a heated debate.
Well, I mean, it is about transparency. We demand transparency of
Yeah.
everyone now, which is a good thing. But let's be realistic. The royal family, if you go back centuries, like every single family,
Been up
has
to
had
no good.
scandal run
Yeah.
through it. I mean, absolutely. But up until a certain point in history, they were able to employ the tactic that you say, Carol, we say nothing. And the press stood
now with
back.
social
Now
media
the
and
press
breaking
isn't
news, they
prepared to.
can't.
No,
Yeah.
they're not.
The press behaves very differently. Have we got off to a good start there, Denzi?
Loved it. Thank you.
Shall we move on? Yes, OK. Well, tonight, Charlotte Church is on Kate Garraway's Life Stories, and she talks about the effect her rebellious behaviour has had on her parents.
I was 16 and the world was my oyster, and, you know, I was also having a load of fun.
Do you feel guilty?
I don't feel guilty because I don't believe in guilt really as a worthwhile emotion. I feel sorry, particularly to my mum, knowing what it cost her.
Oh, God, you could feel the tension there, can't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
You see the mum just slightly shift.
I feel
and that's-
sorry. Yeah.
I always find guilt a really difficult emotion to define, because I think it's different things for different people. I mean, do you feel guilt, Carol?
Not much.
No, I don't
No.
think so.
Breathe.
No, look, I kind of agree with Charlotte. I think it's a bit of a wasted emotion, you know, because if something's done, it's done. And I don't see the point in carrying around a load of guilt and making yourself feel bad forever
you can't
and ever
help
and
feeling
ever.
that guilt,
I know,
can
but
you?
what can you do? If you feel guilty, it's not someone making you feel guilty. It's you
No,
feeling
but if
guilty.
you don't
And
feel
what you-
guilty, that makes you like a sociopath
No,
who
it
doesn't have
doesn't.
any guilt.
Stop calling me a
I'm not calling you one. It's just that that's how psychopaths and that do things, because they don't have any guilt. Therefore, they are able to continue
hang
doing
on,
what
I'm not
they
a
do.
murderer.
No,
Yeah,
you're not.
but-
No, you're not. But you're saying it's like a choice.
I know,
like
but what
Linda
Charlotte
said.
Church
But
was
it
saying is
is.
it a useful emotion? I mean,
it's not.
you were
Useful.
saying...
It's not useful.
Yeah.
But, I had really bad
destructive.
depression and anxiety for 2 years, and I feel guilt still now for what I put my family through for them 2 years, because
What, guilty
they
for
were
having anxiety?
But just because of what I put my family through. I mean, I started drinking and everything, and I went off the rails,
in a
and I
way,
was
you
locking
didn't
myself
really know
away.
what you were doing, so you
I
weren't
didn't know what I
doing
was
it on
doing, but I
purpose.
still look back now and feel guilt for what I actually put them through. They had to stay home and look after me all the time because I couldn't be left on my own. Otherwise, I would be drinking, or I'd be trying to escape, or... I mean, it was terrible what I did to them. And also, like, growing up and, like, when I was working from a young age, I used to feel guilty going away, leaving my kids and that. But I
But
knew
they never made you feel guilty.
they never
though,
made me
and
feel
they still
guilty,
don't,
no, and they
right?
still don't
So-
make me feel guilty. But you can't help but carry that guilt with you.
But what... I mean, this is an odd one to... What did that guilt feel like?
Felt horrible, felt really horrible. And it still does now when I think back to those 2 years and what I actually did to my kids and my grandchildren as well. They saw me drinking and, like, completely blacking out and everything. You know, it was terrible, absolutely terrible. And when I look back now, I think that weren't me. For those 2 years, it felt like someone had taken over my body and I had no control over it. And that...
I've got terrible
kind of
guilt
did,
about
though.
my mum
it did,
dying
yeah.
and not seeing my life post-alcohol. So I've had to do a lot of work on myself to overcome the shame and the guilt that my drinking and drug taking, which, okay, there was a reason I was self-medicating a mental illness, but it doesn't excuse it. And what I put my family through, I have a lot of guilt about that. Again, I'm completely forgiven and they don't put that on me, but I can't help feeling that. And I wish I could go back sometimes and redo parts of Matthew's childhood, Louis less so because I've been sober for a lot of his life. But I have it's very easy to say don't have regrets, but you can't help having them. No. You know, and I would love to be guilt-free about many things, but I feel guilty about stupid things, and I have worked on that. The pandemic has done something to me, which I've become much less of a people pleaser, but I still do things like, if I don't put the bin over the road, because we've got this really sort of difficult to access gravelly bit, if I don't put the bin over the road, I feel guilty that I've left it to the bin men to come, and what if one of them's got a bad back and he's had to move, and Lincoln goes, oh my God!
If he's got a bad back, he's in the wrong job.
I know. I feel guilty for
But that's beating yourself up, isn't it?
Yes, but that's going too far, isn't it?
Well, I would come somewhere in the middle, in that I think, you know, just to cut it off and say, right, OK, I'm putting that in a box. I think you do have to reflect on your behaviour and experiences and stuff. But with you, Linda, yeah, your reflection, I would say, should be that actually you were in the grips of something over which you had no control.
No, not at all.
And therefore you are not responsible. Thank goodness you have that lovely family who recognised that and loved you through it.
Yeah.
And for that reason, it would be great if you could let go of that.
That's logical.
Yeah, I know, and logic and emotion are not always.
Don't you feel guilty though? Because I remember you told me a story about
here we
once
go.
when someone left a big tip on the table and you took it and left a smaller one. Do you not feel a bit guilty about that?
Still to come.
It's true. She's done that to me and all.
We've got a Thursday throwback. Stop going on about that 20 quid. I gave you that 20 quid.
And you've never given it back to me.
Taxi.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, do we still have the same opinions we had back in 2009? Find out what we're discussing a little later. And she stole the show on the Strictly Christmas special last year, but could she be set to sign up for the full series? Cha cha cha. We will be talking to the very funny Mel Giedroyc. See you after the break. Welcome back to Loose Women, coming up in the next few minutes. Funny woman Mel Giedroyc tells us how her tough experience with money inspired her best-selling novel and why she's saying the word no more than ever. And we're talking about plastic surgery after supermodel Linda Evangelista revealed the alleged botched plastic surgery and the effect that it had on her life. But when it comes to going under the knife, should you always ask permission from your loved ones? By the way, Carol, we're saying that, you know, something's different about you. Yvonne thinks you've had your teeth done. You've had your smile brightened. No?
Oh, God, no. I can't
got
that.
I think that's a no, Yvonne. That's a no.
No.
It's competition time now, and here's your chance to win gifts, gadgets and £25,000 in tax-free cash. But hurry, as lines close at 3 p.m. tomorrow.
For this week only, we're giving you the chance to supersize your spring with a ton of treats for inside and out. First up, there's all the latest tech to make your at-home setup state-of-the-art. This includes a 65-inch 4K TV, Sonos Beam soundbar, a PS5 games console, and more. And for outdoor adventures, yeah, we got that covered too, with an incredible £10,000 gift card to spend at any Go Outdoors store nationwide. Splash out on anything you like, from bikes to boots, tents to tackle. Finally, we're going to give your bank balance a well-deserved boost with £25,000 in tax-free cash to do whatever you like with. How cool does that sound? But get your entries in now as lines close at 3 p.m. tomorrow. So for your chance to supersize your spring with gifts, gadgets and cash, text prize to 81119. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 78119. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge, or post your name and phone number to DY07 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Good luck.
Best of luck with that. Now, she's perhaps known best as one half of the comedy duo Mel and Sue, and she's been gracing our screens for nearly 30 years. I'm not sure she'll thank me for saying that, actually. But not content with one amazing career, she's only gone and become a best-selling author as well. Please welcome the wonderful Mel Giedroyc.
Hello, darling. Welcome. It's so nice to be in human.
I know, but can we...
You're my first.
Oh, Carol.
You're my first since we've been
What?
back.
Is this global news? You're my
Carol's
first
never
what?
been on
Live
a live
guest.
guest.
All right.
Oh, God.
No, Carol.
Since, you know.
Yeah.
Since.
Can we assure you there will be no gorillas on set because we're not allowed them for
What was
social
that?
distancing?
What was that?
What was that about?
It was... I pranked Sue, my comedy partner, when she turned 30. About 40 years ago. And I got her a gorillagram, unbeknownst to her. So to pay me back, and I have full respect for the Loose Women team, they did it to me. And I had a bit of an accident, actually, when that... It was so shocking. I remember it came... They're not here now, are they?
No, definitely not. No, listen.
No.
Well, listen, good news for you, Mel, because Denzi picked up your book and went, this looks like a book that I would like to read.
Because I'd never seen it in real life, and I'm going, oh, that's a lovely cover, because I always judge a book by
the
when
cover.
you go in there. When you go judge a book by its cover,
Yeah.
when you go in the shop and you think, I don't know what it's about, but I'm going to buy that, and I think that's that
Oh,
cover.
Denise, I'm
the
really
best
chuffed.
things.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the paperback's out today, so I hope that people will enjoy reading it. It was great fun to
It was a
write.
bestseller. The hardback was a
It
bestseller.
was, yeah.
But it is based on your real experience, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, the sort of the nub of the story kind of is based on something that happened to me and my family about 16 years ago. So the Parker family in my story, they're the kind of supersized family, which we weren't, I hasten to add, but they've got everything. They've got the house with the electric gates, they've got the nanny, they've got 2 nannies, they've got ridiculous sort of life based on money and status and everything. And I won't give too much away, but they lose everything.
Okay.
So it's a kind of riches to rags.
So was that your family?
It wasn't... I wouldn't say that our family was like that, but we had a real financial hiccup about 16 years ago. I'm just going to do this. I'm turning to you and...
I know.
I'm turning my back on Charlene, and it's very, very
I'm gonna
difficult
turn.
not to do
I'm
that.
turning my back on Lindsay.
I
know.
Right,
I'm going to just swivel...
Swivel away.
So
swivel
you
away.
got yourself invested. You bought a big house that was possibly above
too
your
big,
means.
Denise, it was ridiculous. And it was back in the day, I remember this so clearly, you'd get a phone call from the bank saying, would you like to borrow some more money? I mean, it doesn't happen these days. I never get a phone call from any bank these days, but it was insane. So we borrowed a stupid amount
You had
of money.
a big advertising campaign that you thought was going to be endless.
Exactly. We were doing... Sue and I were doing a bread advertising campaign, and I thought, brilliant. 4 days work a year.
You thought it
pays
was-
for everything.
It would turn into the crisp thing with another
crisp,
person.
exactly.
That didn't.
I know, I did.
Carol,
It's
it was
funny, though, what's
salutary. It
happening
was salutary.
on the inside, because I remember that time because we were doing This Women, and I remember seeing those adverts on television, and I was watching, I was like, they've made it. That's
it.
it.
Did
And I was
you?
jealous.
Again.
I was jealous.
Yay!
I know.
Oh, God, no. Well, I think we made about 3 of them in the end. It didn't
Yeah.
last long.
How old were your kids, though, at that time?
They were 2 and 1, I think. Yeah. So they were tiny, tiny. And they don't give you any preparation for sacking you. I remember getting a letter through the door.
Who does?
And it just basically said, you're not needed anymore. And I just thought, you know, it was like the whole bottom of your world.
So how did you get out of it, then?
So we had to sell our house, but it was at the time when it was difficult to sell the house. Anyway, I'm not complaining. There are many, many people in far
No,
worse
we know you
situations.
said you moved
It's
into a small
interesting.
flat and then ended up loving being in the tiny flat.
Do you know what? We rented a flat. We called it the 70s Love Nest. It was just full velvet and corduroy, orange. And we paid our rent in cash to a bloke up the A1.
Yeah.
We'd go up the A1, we'd meet him in a lay-by, we'd give him the month's cash. Never happier. No mortgage. We put all our stuff in storage. And again, I'm not saying, oh, you know, isn't it wonderful to have to do this? It's not wonderful. It's a shocker. But I think, I hope we learnt from it and we made the best of it.
That's, I mean, obviously, you know, it has come good and, you know, you've written this book and you've drawn on that experience and your career has gone on and you've moved on as a family and you're lots... You know, lots to do. And you're obviously very aware of other people in difficult circumstances, so we get that.
Yes.
But, as you say, a huge learning experience.
Yeah.
What did you learn from it?
Well, my mum said when I phoned to tell her the news about, you know, that we'd lost everything, she's brilliant, my mum. She just said, well, Melanie, you'll have to learn how to cut your cloth. So I've learned how to cut my cloth.
Well, live within your means, basically.
Live within my means.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard, though, isn't it?
How hard was it to sit down and write a book? I mean, did you have to lock yourself away while you're writing? Because you've got 2 young children as well, haven't you?
Did you actually write it yourself?
I did, Carol.
She asked everyone this question.
Unbelievable. I did.
I'm only saying that because we were talking about it earlier.
No, we were. No, I did. Do you know what? I found it quite difficult to write at home. Too distracting. Too many things. Too many silly things to do. So I went to the local library every day.
Oh, did you?
9 o'clock. Had to be there first. I got a bit sort of routine-y about it. Did 4 hours, 9 till 1.
Oh, that's so disciplined.
Had to sit in the same chair.
Some people have discipline, Carol, and that's why they write best-selling books.
Oh, well, no, it's full respect to people. You know, J.K. Rowling always said, didn't she? She'd sit in a cafe and write.
That's right. And there is now a blue plaque on that cafe.
Is there?
Quite regularly, so maybe get one in your local library. You never know.
Oh.
So Strictly, you went down a storm. Might we see you on the sort of?
Would you do
the
the main
series?
Never say never, guys, I suppose.
That
never
means
say
yes, doesn't
never.
Yeah, that's a yes.
No,
that's a yes.
But do you know what? I just dipped a little toe into the whole thing. I think have any of you guys done? Have any of you
I've
guys
done Dancing on Ice, not Strictly.
Too much work.
I mean, full respect for people that do it, though.
Oh, it's hard.
I mean,
Takes up your life, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Did you find that with the...
Oh, absolutely. They talk about that bubble and it is all-consuming. That you wonder how you've ever had time for anything
I know.
else.
I found just for the Christmas special, I was in a total bubble, which is ridiculous. It was for 3 weeks.
A lovely bubble of sequins, though,
Oh, and no public vote. That was lovely.
There was no
public vote, so it's gorgeous. Yeah,
Right, we better go because I hear there's a gorilla just coming up the stairs. Now, listen, it's been lovely to have you in the studio.
Thank
You're
you.
Carol's first, and you'll carry that in your heart forever, won't you? Who wouldn't like to be Carol's first? Still to come, we've got a Throwback Thursday for you. But when it comes to fantasy snogs, do we still want to pucker up to the same crushes that we had 13 years ago? And we're talking breakups with your hairdresser. Face it, front on, or secretly disappear, never to be seen again. Find out which one of us is on the run. That's right after this. Welcome back to your Thursday Loose Women alongside me, Kay Adams. It's Denzi Squelch, Linda Robson and Carol McGiffin. Still to come on the show today, as supermodel Linda Evangelista speaks out over the alleged botched plastic surgery, we open up about our own worries, fears and experiences of going under the knife. And he's swapped his bad boy image for life as a family man. Dancing on Ice, Brendan Cole tells us what the ringside support from his family really means to him. And what are you giggling about? You don't know.
Well, I've got to practice my fake smile because it just makes me look like I'm going mad. Look, it's like this. It's like...
Yeah, that does look a bit sad, I have to say.
Frightens people.
Do you want to go back to your younger days? Let's go back to your younger days.
Go
back
on,
to 2009.
Oh,
wow. No. Barack Obama was the US president. Archie Mitchell was killed off in EastEnders. And a first-class stamp was just 39p.
Just?
Yeah. It's 80-odd now. It was also the first time the Loose Women panel were discussing the tough topic of fantasy snogs.
Oh, wow, deep.
There isn't a fantasy snog, but I must say I've got quite a soft spot for your Matt, actually.
My Matthew?
Yeah.
Well, you would. He's only 18.
Mine would be Mark Cassidy.
Who's Mark Cassidy?
Carol's fiancé.
So many
Right.
questions. Can we just clarify that Matt was 20 at the time, just
He
to
was-
sort of try and get us
he
away
was
with that one?
20.
Well, I don't think he knew because it was certainly reciprocated.
Well, but hang on, let's not...
Oh, no, Matty always had a crush when he saw
All right,
you
enough.
wrestle with our dog on the kitchen floor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah, that was back in the day. Me and McGiff had a few sherries.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. And I ended up having a fight on the floor with
Sorry, I've just dribbled.
The dog.
Matthew walked in with the boys in the band before they went off and be famous, and they all walked in, and McGiff spilled some Cocoa Pops on the floor and was writhing in them with the dog on top of them.
Well, this is good.
How we laughed.
I just can't wait to
Those were the
see the Daily
days.
Mail later on. I really can't.
Oh, my
Sorry,
God.
yeah.
So, and,
sorry.
And you openly fancied Mark then?
Well, I've always
quite
thought,
cute.
yeah, I've always thought that Mark was fit. I mean, you can't sort of see Mark and think he's not. We were just having a laugh. I would never say maybe I would have in those days. To be honest, I'm a completely different person.
I
now.
hadn't been with him long at that point. I
No.
think that I'd only been with him.
You know,
for
Mark
about
is a very
8 months.
attractive guy.
Yeah.
And I think I was winding her up because she just said about fancying Matty. But I wouldn't ever say it seriously. But he is fit, of course.
I don't know what's worse, somebody saying that they fancy your partner or somebody saying that they don't fancy your partner.
Yeah, can you imagine saying, don't fancy yours much? That would be terrible.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, I don't have a fantasy snog anymore.
Oh, I do. Russell Brand.
I've got it. In
Russell Brand, that
Yeah.
used to be hers.
No, Russell Brand was mine.
Oh,
can't have him at all.
I got a snog.
Did you not mean Russell Grant was yours?
No, not Russell Brand. Russell Brand. I did the Jonathan Ross show, and we were sitting backstage, like waiting to go on. And I was on the sofa, and he went, lay down. He started massaging all my head. I thought I'd died and gone to heaven.
Well, he was
And he
sexy.
smelled gorgeous
He-
as well.
Yeah, he
really
looks
did.
unclean, but he's
yeah,
really
but he was
clean.
really clean. Yeah.
And he came on the show. I got a snog with him actually.
Yeah, you did. You made it very obvious.
Look, there
Look,
he is. There he is. So there's Jane.
Led by the name of the show slightly.
Look at you.
A minute and no one's done anything remotely.
You were absolutely...
There we go. She had no idea. He was doing another show and they went and grabbed him and said, could you come on because McGiff fancies
And
you.
he did. What a sport! But it was only because I said that I'd pay him for sex, and he walked on. He went, "I'm here to negotiate terms."
Well, didn't he make a cheese McGiffin or something? What was that thing with the cheese?
head.
A cheese
Yeah.
head.
But-
Was it
but-
of you?
Yeah, it was. No,
Yeah.
we made one of him first.
Oh.
And then Ori made...
I love Russell
Anyway,
Brand. Anyway, good choice.
I really am now beginning to feel that I'm at drinks with you two. It's sort of like 11:30 at night rather than on the telly.
No, you
Those
missed
were the
your
days.
chance.
We have mentioned you'd had something done, Carol.
I know, and everybody now thinks I've had more plastic surgery.
Yeah,
but-
would you like to confess?
Well, all I've done is I've had my hair dyed blonde again, right?
Yeah.
She's had a Linda.
Yes. Well, because my hair was getting, I don't know, I kept catching myself on the show before I went on holiday, and I kept thinking, oh, my hair just looks grey, it looks dull, it's not doing anything for me. And Linda was sitting there, and I turned around to her and I said, I want my hair to be like yours again. I want it to be blonde. Where'd you get it done? I'll go. And she went, oh, my mate does it.
How dare you? I'm very posh. I don't speak like that.
And I said, well, will she do mine? She went, yeah, of course she would. I'll phone her up. And so I went round.
And she was going to the Maldives, and so she popped round to her house, didn't
I
you?
went
She did it
round.
the day before she came. And as she got to the airport, she sent me a picture of her hair looking absolutely gorgeous. I know.
And for like a quarter of the price that
Yeah.
you've
Oh,
been
you can spend
paid at a
hundreds in the
salon.
hairdressers,
a
can't
sixth
you?
of the price. I
Did
mean,
you have to tell the
ridiculous.
other hairdresser you weren't coming back? Because that's always
Well, she's
difficult.
told him now, hasn't she?
Well, she certainly won't feel guilty about not telling them that
No, she won't. She'll never think about it again.
Because I
You
did
know,
have an
just-
appointment there, but I just cancelled it. And I thought, well, no, I ain't got time to go back there anyway.
Well, it looks lovely.
It looks blooming lovely.
It does.
I
Yeah,
feel
it does.
better with
Yeah,
this
yeah. You look
colour
younger
hair.
as
We're
well.
4 non-blondes, look.
Yeah, absolutely, 4 non-blondes.
And only one natural, me.
So we weren't going to be talking about plastic surgery, but actually we are going to be talking about
right.
plastic surgery because supermodel Linda Evangelista has spoken out over the alleged botched plastic surgery that she's had done and the negative effect that it has had on her life. I mean, it was an unusual procedure, a sort of fat-freezing
'Cause that
alternative
just looks
to
like she'd
liposuction
put
or
on
something.
weight to me.
Yeah. Anyway, it went wrong. It was one of the kind of 1% or whatever you get told about in any surgical procedure that went wrong.
So the fat
unfortunately.
swelled in her rather than reducing the fat.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. Yeah, it does. And we've all considered it at points, haven't we?
Yep.
To be perfectly honest, I have, but I'm just. I don't know, I'm scared.
But you see something like that and you think, well, maybe we shouldn't, maybe we should just let nature take its course.
Yeah.
But I did book to have my eyes lifted once. So I went along to see the surgeon and he said he could make, because I hate these droopy bits in my eyes and I hate my neck as well, but I didn't consider my neck. And then on the day that I was going, my husband and my son was there and they went, where are you going? So I went, I couldn't think of what to say. So I'm just going to see a friend. I went, what friend? I went, Sandra. They went, no, you're not. Where are you going?
I know you too well.
My eyes lifted and they went, no, you're not. And they looked me in the eyes. They wouldn't let me out. They went, you don't need to.
They locked you in the house?
Well, they just said, no, Mum, you don't need it done. You're going to have black eyes. What if something goes wrong and all that? And then they scared me. And then in the end, I didn't go.
Well, something can go wrong with any kind of surgery.
I know,
any
yeah.
kind. I mean, stuff you don't have to have, though, I suppose it is a bit dark.
Having my eyes done was a massive... I had mine done when I was, if you remember, when I was 50. So that's, oh, my God, that's like 13 years ago now. Nearly 14, blimey. And it was a big decision. But I'd always said that I would consider having something done if it was making me a bit miserable. And we had these sort of hereditary bags under eyes. And anyway, even if I was rested, which wasn't a lot in those days, but even if I was rested, it showed. And I researched for a year, found this amazing guy who was also head of eyes at Chelsea and Westminster, so he wasn't just a cosmetic surgeon. And yes, it was terrifying that you have that thing, which is apparently very normal, 2 or 3 days after when you're black and blue, thinking, what have I done? I've done this voluntarily to myself. But the outcome was amazing. Because they gave me some eyelid show back. I mean, I could probably do it again. And now I would like this get your turkeys ready for Christmas advert out the way.
Yeah, but I mean, as you say, after, and I mean, once you've done it, you've committed them. I remember you sent me the photographs after you had your facelift done, and I mean, wow. I mean,
that was really scary.
It was pretty horrific, actually.
What did Mark think?
Well,
because he didn't want you to have it
He didn't want
done.
me to have it, no. He really didn't, and he just doesn't think that any of that stuff is necessary. But I really needed to have it. I needed to have it. I'd been ill, and I was coming back to this show, and I just thought, I'm just going to go for it. And I just took the plunge and did it. But when I got out of that surgery, I mean, it was still a bit sort of dopey. Mark visibly flinched. He was... I could see he was horrified, but at the same time...
He's probably thinking, is it ever going to look normal?
He didn't think I would go back to normal. He honestly didn't. And he was like my Dr. Mark, because all the wounds had to be treated and everything round the back and everything. And he used to put on his plastic pinny and put the gloves on. And it's only now that I know how absolutely horrified he was, because sometimes the photographs come up on the Apple TV thing, you know, on the telly.
Tell me again what he was wearing. He wore like what? A white
All right, here we go. She's still...
plastic pinny and rubber gloves. And he just hates it. He absolutely hates it. But, I mean, I have to say, I did...
3 weeks later?
I did look like I'd been in a fight and a fire.
You did. You did. I mean, it was
3 weeks
incredible.
later, I was back on
Looked
the
amazing.
show.
You were, indeed. You still fancy him, don't you, Dempsey? Anyway, still to come. He's set to be reunited with former Strictly judge Arlene Phillips at the weekend. We'll find out how Brendan Cole is feeling about competing in this Sunday's Dancing on Ice. That's right after this. Welcome back to your final part of Loose Women. Still to come, he's got his sights set on the Dancing on Ice crown, but how will he cope with a brand new partner? We're chatting to Brendan Cole in the next few minutes. But first, time is running out for your chance to win a whole load of prizes, plus £25,000 in tax-free cash. Shan Welby has the details you need.
For this week only, we're pushing the button, powering up and giving you the chance to supersize your spring with a ton of treats that the whole family will love. First up, an incredible £25,000 in tax-free cash to spend, save or splash out with. Where would that take you this year? Then there's a £10,000 gift card to spend at any Go Outdoors store nationwide. Take your next outdoors adventure to the next level with anything from tents to travel backpacks, cycles to country wear. everywhere. Finally, there's gadgets galore for your home with a ton of tech for the whole family. That includes a 65-inch 4K TV, a Sonos Beam soundbar, Smeg products, and much, much more. There's something for everyone in this prize package. So for your chance to supersize your spring with gifts, gadgets and cash, text prize to 81119. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 781119. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge, or post your name and phone number to DY07 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Good luck.
Thanks, Sean. Sean. I'm getting dug up for the way that I say Sean. Oh. Now, our next guest was known as the bad boy of the ballroom when he competed in Strictly Come Dancing. But recently, we've seen him be perfectly behaved as he entertains us every Sunday night on Dancing on Ice.
He's used to dancing. It's the on-ice part that might take some getting used to.
That was the best first performance I've seen by a celebrity in all 14 series.
It's a massive 30.5 out of 14.
Elegant and beautifully performed.
It was all there for me.
Please welcome Brendan Cole.
Woo!
Thank you. Hello. Hi, Brendan.
Hi.
Oh, from bad boy to very, very good boy.
I've been a bad boy for about 35 years.
Yeah. Does that annoy you, that bad boy thing?
It's just, no, it's nice. It's a nice tag to have. In the old days, now I'm a good boy, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
Most of the time.
Boy, you are. And you've got that lovely family of yours cheering you on every week, which is endearing.
Yeah, it's really.
Does that make a real big difference?
Massive difference, actually. My daughter, I think my daughter was maybe 4 or 5 when I left Strictly, so she didn't really understand what was going on. Now she gets to see me on Dancing on Ice, and she came to the studio, and I got so emotional when I looked up, and she was, I've even talked about it now. I'm going, ooh, crikey, because you know, it must be special for them if it's special for me.
Yeah.
And they're part of the journey. They see me go to work every day. They hear me talking about it endlessly, day after day after day. So
had you
really
ever
special.
skated before?
No, only Saturday as a kid, about 5 times probably.
But you've danced.
I've danced.
And this is the thing, right? You can never get a straight answer out of people who do this, like James. And yet, just like, is it easier for someone who can dance already to dance on ice?
Absolutely. Of course it is. Picking up choreography. How you present yourself when I'm doing let's say a little jump, I'll know how to put myself up, whereas somebody will not have done that before. I've done it so many times.
How do they feel about that, though, the others? I mean, do they feel like they're at a bit of a disadvantage with you there?
Probably, but there are 3, 4 of us that have dance experience, and good dance experience. Regan's a beautiful ballerina,
fantastic.
And he's done a lot of stage and theatre. Kimberly's obviously, you know how good Kimberly is.
You really are, obviously. You and Bez, you really are fantastic to watch. I think that's what's lovely about it, that it's good to have some people that are literally coming from nothing, Bez, and people who are learning brilliantly, like Sally, like my Bezzy Sally, but to actually have someone starting at that level. I found it odd that they said you were the best first performance, because obviously I've done it.
We all saw it.
But next to that, you really are superb. But this week, of course, you don't have Vanessa with you.
No, I do not. Lovely Vanessa. Hello, Vanessa. She had a positive test. She's absolutely fine. She's in good health, so that's the important thing. But of course, she has to isolate for this week, so we couldn't train together. There was an opportunity, I think. I could have potentially, I suppose, danced with another one of the pro girls on the show, but I almost felt that was almost disrespectful to Vanessa. She's put so much work into us as a partnership. She's my girl. She's my partner on this. And the opportunity came to dance with a dude, with a guy, and we, as Musicals Week, with being Musicals Week, it was a real opportunity to do something really special. So we're going to be doing Ghost, recreating that scene from Ghost where we look into each other's eyes.
No, you're not.
No, we're not.
No, we know what you're doing.
So it's Brendan and Brendan.
Brendan and Brendan,
But it's a kind of mates on skates kind of routine, isn't it? Because there's been a lot of sort of, it's a same-sex routine, which of course it is technically, but that probably has other kind of connotations.
It does. It brings up a whole different vibe.
Yeah.
We work really well together. There's real power on the ice with us, and when we start doing something, even just a simple backwards crossover or something like that, just going backwards and looking at each other and going, right, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And off it goes. It's really exciting, and I've had a great week with Brendan and the creative team as well. And also, we got to put the routine together ourselves with the creative team and actually come up with this this different.
Is that normal for the contestants to add to the choreography? Do you normally have that much of an input?
Not normally, no. I mean, Vanessa's done all of our choreography so far, and with a bit of help from the creative team and me. But it's not really my gig. I'm the person learning. But I do choreograph my own shows. That's my bag. The production and the choreography. It's very hard to take a step back.
Yeah. And you've got Arlene judging you this.
And Oti.
I know, and Oti, yeah, of course. Arlene's a phenomenal force within musicals, within the West End. She's a good friend of mine for working so many years on Strictly. I'm interested to see how she's going to be this weekend, because she's going to have quite an eye for detail from theatre, and if we don't bring that, she's going to be quite.
Are you going to give them any back chat?
It is not my bag. I'm not a skater. I said that right at the start. If I say one word, imagine, sorry, Chris, I don't agree with your 40 years of experience on the ice. That's ridiculous. What are you saying? Can you imagine? I'd be ripped apart.
It wouldn't go down well.
I'm there to learn. And I'm soaking up the information, and it's a phenomenal thing to do. It being a part of a big production again.
But you can absolutely comment on Ballroom, because that is your bag. And going back to Strictly, you know, there's a big discussion at the moment. Anton or Bruno for that fourth seat in the Strictly panel. Which camp are you in?
I'd actually be in Anton's camp, actually. I think it's fresh for the show. I think he's done a great job. I'd like him to be a bit more constructively critical. I think he's a bit too nice, but maybe he's being that way because he wants the seat. I think he's done a good job on the panel. I think it needs a mix-up. I think, hey, get rid of half of them, I say.
Come back.
Oh, no.
Who's your favourite judge on that panel?
Craig, actually.
Right, why?
Because I like his energy. I like the fact that he's not always nice. I love Shirley on there as well, funnily enough, even though we had our little moments on the show. She knows her stuff, and she's a good judge on the show. Craig has that little bit of, you really don't know if he's going to be horrible or nice, but he always the horrible is always with a nice sort of cheeky grin. I get on very well with Craig on air.
Would you do it?
As a judge, absolutely. I judged the New Zealand version for 5 years back in the day, and I enjoyed the experience. One, you never get voted off, which is always lovely, and then you get to give the couple something that they can bring back the following week. That's something that misses on the show for me on Strictly, let's say, is the fact that you kind of want to work on something for next week, and they're going, next time you do a rumba, I'd like you to do this. And they're never going to do a rumba again. So it's kind of giving them something that they can take away and go,
listen,
right, this is what I'm going to do.
We are really looking forward to your routine this week with Brendan and Brendan. We'll be watching Dancing Eyes. Thank you. Tomorrow we're joined by Anthea Turner talking all things dirty dancing, actually. So there you go. You're going to have to miss that one. I'll report back to you, Dancing.
Thank you very much indeed.
Have a great day.